Muffled laughter permeated the stony silence, the droning hum of conversation creeping into the almost empty bedchamber. Alone, stark against a mess of shadowy bed curtains, sat a woman in a white dress. Her face was pale, the color banished by a hardened stare, between furled ginger brows and freckle-specked cheeks, blazed twin eyes, piercing and blue. There, unmoving at the end of the large bed, she sat, her arms outstretched beside her, hands clenching the wooden frame. Beatrice was waiting. Time was lost on her. Minutes, hours, it felt like days, the dread welling up within the young woman. A wedding was normally a happy occasion, a celebration of an alliance successfully secured, two houses joined as one. Yet, in this moment, Beatrice felt that nothing could prepare her for what was to come. There were no more teachers, no more books, no more watchful eyes to glance to. She was an orphaned princess in a world of kings. Alone, and this was her duty. With a creak, the door at the front of the chamber opened. A head appeared from behind it, the bright young face peering cautiously about the room. With a start, he spied her. "Are you... is there... may I enter?" Beatrice glanced upward, raising just her eyes to meet the newcomers. She knew who it was, but gazed nonetheless, pity supplanting dread. "It's our room, isn't it? I'd think that would include you, my lord husband." "Please," he said, waving his hand as he slinked timidly into the bedchamber. "Let us do away with the pleasantries. We are—" His voice withered. "Well, you are my—" He paused again, searching for the words. "We're married, all right?" the juvenile exclaimed, shrugging comically. With that, he entered the room, closing the door behind him with a kick of his heel. A gentle smile flashed across the young queen's lips. The poor fool. He was terrified, almost as terrified as she, but for an entirely different reason. The young monarch paused apprehensively before her, shifting to and fro as if rehearsing the steps of a long-forgotten dance. With an awkward mumble, he crossed the room and sank down on the bed beside her. The couple sat for a moment, rigidly staring at the empty wall before them. "He's just a boy," Beatrice thought, her heart racing. But just as she began to soften to him, another voice rang out from within. "Duty. I must do my duty." Her skin glistened with sweat, tiny droplets trickling down her face and back. With a faltering, uncertain motion, the pair turned simultaneously, his wide-eyed gaze finding her own. Beatrice raised her hand, gently caressing the young man's cheek. She leaned in and kissed him. His lips were soft and gentle, the taste of wine still lingering on them. Breathing heavily now, Beatrice pulled him to her, the couple sinking backwards onto the bed. As they kissed, something stirred within the young queen, emotion swelling to engulf her. With her heart pounding in her ears, Beatrice unclipped her lover's tunic, ripping it open. He looked up at her, confounded, his undefined chest heaving with anticipation. "He's just a boy." Beatrice reached back, pulling a long acicular pin from her hair, the thick ginger curls cascading gently upon her shoulders. They gazed at one another, a look of intimate regard passing between them. "You are the most beautiful. Before he could finish, a hand clamped firmly over the king's mouth. In a swift, singular motion, Beatrice thrust a slender blade into the boy's neck. He tensed, his body writhing in pain as he gasped and gurgled for air. In a moment, the king grew still, a crimson puddle diffusing through the ivory sheets beneath him. Beatrice dismounted, staggering backwards before the corpse, her once white dress now stained a darker shade. He was just a boy, but guilt was a burden for the weak.